Hello once again, everybody. Welcome back to City Skylines 2 and to Hilland Bay. Last episode, we focused on fixing some long-standing service issues, adding a second police station to help crack down on rising crime, bringing in a post office to finally get the mail where it needs to go, and setting up new districts to give the city a stronger sense of structure and balance. And it worked. The population is growing again. Citizen happiness is at an all-time high, and the city's making more money than ever before. But as great as those things are right now, you can kind of already spot the next big opportunity popping up. At the moment, Hilland Bay is still a city built mostly around cars and taxis. You can't drive down a street without seeing those little yellow cabs zipping by. And while we're not dealing with serious traffic jams just yet, it is only a matter of time before congestion becomes a bigger problem as the city continues to expand. That's why, in this episode, we're doing something we probably should have done a long time ago. We just never really had the money. We're finally going to build a bus network. Not just a handful of lines within the city, but a proper system that connects neighborhoods, serves our growing population, and links Hilland Bay to its neighbors beyond the city limits. We'll be setting up bus lines, creating hubs, and laying the groundwork for a more connected, accessible, and hopefully future-proof city network. If you've got ideas for bus line layouts or suggestions for making this new network the best it can be, I would love to hear from you down in the comments. Alright, enough talk. Let's dive in and get Hilland Bay a-moving. So the first thing I wanted to do was to come in and move the taxi service building. Way back when I first installed it, I thought putting it over here at the industrial area was a great spot for it. And it was, for that moment. But now, I have to think about the bus network, and I need a bus depot, which is kind of large. But I think the industrial area is also a great fit for that. However, I don't want to take away from our current industry zoning too much, so moving the taxi building to a better location is a better idea. In theory, anyway. I decided that underneath of the main highway, right behind our road service depot, would make an excellent spot, giving our taxis pretty good access to the highway and the main arterial roads. Because of the uneven terrain in this area, it actually gave me an opportunity to do something a little bit different here using retaining walls to give the block a little bit of character. I think it turns out really good in the end. My only regret is that we can't place decals like graffiti on the retaining walls. Hopefully one day that will be a thing. It's possible to do it, but it's quite tricky and time consuming. I may end up doing it at some point, maybe like a detailing live stream. If you guys would be interested in watching something like that, where I just kind of spend a few hours placing little details here and there throughout the city, no huge changes or additions, let me know. Now, I didn't want to have the taxis exiting out onto the main road, so instead I decided to space the building out a little bit and turn it just right so I could add in like an entrance road. That should help keep traffic flow a little bit smoother. I also used the traffic and lane connector mod to make sure that no traffic from our main roads crossed lanes. I didn't want to cause any sort of bottleneck right here in this area, especially right after an intersection like that. Next, of course, comes the foliage. Trees and bushes to kind of give some shade and privacy to the building, but also to hide it a little bit from the main view of the citizens. Now, my entrance road just didn't really feel complete. Luckily, I've got this little intersection here at our medical clinic that exits out right here, and that's going to line up perfectly right in the middle of our connector road in front of the taxi service. Sometimes things just work out really well. Last but not least, doing a little bit of terrain work to bring it all together. Now comes the development of our new bus depot. You gotta have one of these to run buses in your city, and it takes up a decent plot of land. After looking everywhere for a good spot for it, I found this area in the Industrial Fields District was the best spot. It's close to the main road with our roundabout, so that should make it easy for our buses to get in and out, but also kind of off to the side as well. And we won't lose too much of our zoned industrial area by placing it here. I want to also make sure that I leave just enough room for the upgraded maintenance garages as well. Now, gonna have to redo a few roads here, but it's all for the better future of Hilland Bay. Now that we've got our bus depot in, we're going to need a bus station. My main goal for bringing buses into the city right now is outside connections. Giving the citizens public transportation around the city itself is mostly a secondary goal. So my thinking is that I need at least a decent sized bus station. Now there are a couple of different places in my city that I think would make an excellent location for the station. The first one is to try to get in close by our main highway exit right here, the on-ramps and off-ramps. But I don't want it to be right in the middle of what I consider to be my main street. I have other plans for these blocks. That leaves a small undeveloped plot of land right down here by what I think was the first park I actually built in the city. This is a good location because it's close to the town center, the highway, our large residential area over here. It would make perfect sense to put it here. My other location I'm looking at is right over here by our small medical clinic. I've got a nice little parcel of land right here that's just ripe for development of something. It's right at the very end of our two main streets right here, including the main arterial connection between our two main highways coming down this way. It's also close to our industrial area over there. But the main reason that I like this location and why I'm going to choose this spot over the first one is this little area right here next to it. I have big plans for this oddball shaped piece of land, and I think having the bus stop right up here above it is going to make perfect sense when you see my vision come together in a future episode. So let's get to building our bus station. For my bus station, I have a couple of different options. We have the small bus station, which is $100,000, and we get 3 bus platforms, but we can also upgrade it with a taxi stop, extra platforms, and station services. Upkeep on that's about $7,000 a month, so not too bad. It's also got a small footprint that I think I can work in here. The next one up, for $200,000, we get the regular bus station. 6 platforms. Upkeep on that is $14,000 a month though. That's a lot. It's also a much bigger footprint than what we actually have room for right here. Lastly, there's the modern architecture bus station, which kind of falls right in the middle at $160,000. The upkeep on that though is even more than the basic bus station at $16,500. And we're going to get 5 platforms for that. Again though, the footprint for this is just a little larger than what I want to do. When you combine all of that with how much we're paying to get started, as well as the upkeep on it, honestly, I think the small bus station is the way to go here. Even though by the time I get done doing the upgrades on it, it'll probably cost me pretty close to the same. Okay, bus stop is complete. Let's take a better look though at my design choices here. So I probably could have done a custom bus stop, but I didn't know how possible that was when I started. I may do that next time though. I need to build one of these. For now, the small bus station will do just fine. I added a little bit of a parking lot over here. Reason for that, this is kind of for drop-offs or pickups, you know, say you have family that you know is coming into town and they're like, hey, can you pick me up at the bus stop? And they're like, sure, I'll be there. And then, you know, they're not, and then they end up having to get a taxi. So, yeah, it happens. I upgraded the bus stop itself to add 2 more lines for a total of 5. Then I added our little service kiosk in here, which helps with comfort level. And finally, I added a taxi stop. Because we have so many taxis in the city, I figured, why not? In the time-lapse build, you can see that I added a little bit of a path going from our bus station up here, which is on a little bit of a higher level, as you can see, and I had it come down to meet with this road down here. Now though, you can see I have moved that over just a little bit so that it's more in the middle of the bus station right there instead of over to the side. When I was doing test runs with the bus station, I noticed like a ton of foot traffic, and a lot of it was coming up from this path. So much so that it was actually blocking traffic by having the crosswalk like right there where the buses come in and out. Moving it towards the middle may help alleviate that issue. Don't really know yet. Just kind of have to wait and see. I do think it looks slightly better there though. So as you can see here, traffic is starting to get backed up at some of our biggest intersections. I expected that to happen. So we need to get our bus stop up and running as fast as we can. Next thing is just adding in the lines really. So I'll just click on transportation, find our bus line, click on one of our stops, which let's do this one. And then we'll take that to our first outside connection. Let's do all the way up north up here. Click on the outside connection and then come all the way back down here to the bus station. And then I would just click here, like right on that to complete that. However, I noticed that the actual bus is coming in this way. And I don't really think I want that. Instead, I want to kind of come around here. So if I click here first, then click there, that should have it come in the right way. All right, now for our second bus line here, I'm just going to change the color of this one. Let's make this one a yellow line. Click our second node here. Let's have this one go over here to the east. Click on the outside connection and then bring it all the way back. Once again, I will click on up here so that it comes in this way and makes a perfect circle right there. Well, not exactly a perfect circle, but it's a line. Alright, so one more. Let's go ahead and make this one a red line. And I will bring this one down here to the next stop. And this one is going to go to our outside connection, which is all the way down south down here. Click that one, and then head back over to the bus stop. Click right up here so that it comes in around this way, and then connect it up to complete the circuit. And that is our 3 bus lines going in and out of the city. You can already see the buses down through here starting to get, well, honestly, starting to get pretty well backed up. In fact, we got a huge traffic jam over here, so, gotta see if I can figure out how I'm gonna fix this. Alright, so one thing I can kind of try to do here, and adding lanes isn't necessarily the best way to fix traffic problems. It's only going to be a temporary fix, but let's try making this a 5-lane asymmetric road right here. So we'll upgrade that there, and we'll leave this one. And that will give me 3 lanes going out this way, which doesn't necessarily help the traffic coming in, but it should help the traffic coming around this way at least. Also looks like this crosswalk also might be causing a problem on both sides of the street right here. So I probably need to fix that. Let's get rid of these crosswalks. Alright, so getting rid of those crosswalks will probably help our traffic a little better. However, it does get rid of our pedestrians being able to get to work easy by crossing the road right here. So what I'm probably going to do is at some point come back in and maybe add like an elevated pathway over top of this. This is most definitely still an issue right here though, so I don't think the asymmetric is going to solve it. Let's try doing a 6 lane. So I'm just going to make sure that snap is off so I can kind of center this. And actually, let's come down here because I want to center it down here on this. We'll start there, and then we'll upgrade this back. There we go. All right. Maybe that might help a little bit. All right. I think I've got a temporary fix for it, but this is most likely going to be a problem again later on. So if you guys have any thoughts on how we can fix this little intersection right here. I mean, I do like it being a roundabout, so I kind of want to keep the roundabout. I just got to figure out how we can get this to work and get our traffic just flowing a little bit better. But yeah, if you guys have a thought, if you have an idea on how we can get this to work a little better, I am all ears. Put them down in the comments down below. Alright, so let's see how our buses are doing over here. Well, we've got some errors. We have a no vehicles thing here, a no vehicles thing here, and a no vehicles thing here. I don't really know how. I mean, we should have plenty of buses. In fact, there's a ton of buses over here that's not even being used. We got this one bus line that is using 5 buses currently right now. It's got a total of 7 assigned to it with 5 active. I don't know. I think maybe it just needs some time to work some bugs out, because it seems like it should have enough buses to work. I don't know what the major issue is there. Alright, with our outside connections all set up, next we need to work on connecting around the actual city itself. So let's see here. We're going to go to transportation once again. Then I have a choice between bus stop signs or bus stop shelters. I'm going to use the shelters. Now what I think I want to do first is I want to connect up kind of like a line that goes at least all around the city, like it circles it. I think that would be one good start. So let's start with from the bus station here. Let's have one that goes down here, like maybe right in front of the courthouse, right there. Okay, and let's go ahead and bring it on around. Let's have it stop probably the hospital. I think would be a great area to have one come down through here. So let's see, our traffic should be coming down this way. So let's do a stop right there. Look at all those stars. People are enjoying this. All right. From there, let's bring it down here to the corner. Do I want to have it come around this way, or do I want to have it go up that street there? Since this down through here is all residential for the most part, except for that corner down there, I think we should do it here. This is more or less kind of a business section down here, so let's do that. Let's have a bus stop here Oh, I messed up. I put that on the wrong side of the road. So let's try that again. We'll put that right here instead. I think that's a good place. All right. And then we'll run it all the way down here. We'll stop at this corner down here. And then the line will come up around this way. And we'll go back to the bus station. Because I think at that point, that should be fine to get people around the city. Now, let's just set up that bus line right there. So we're going to go with one of our next nodes right here. If I can get it to work. Let's see. Come on. Also, I need a line color for this. Let's go with purple. I like purple. It's one of my favorite colors. All right, so then we'll kind of connect it from here. Got that first try. That's pretty nice. All right, we'll run this around. Stop at this bus stop. Then run it around here. Let's see. The next one was the hospital. Right there. I call it a hospital, but it's really just a really large medical clinic. And then we'll come down here. We'll stop here. And then we'll go down here. Down to this side. And then we'll run this back around. And again, it does have to come around this way. So I'm going to bring this one like here and then connect it. There we go. All right. That's our purple line, our inner city one. That goes all to the 4 points of the city. In fact, that's a great name for that. That should be called the 4-point line. All right, next I kind of need to think a little more strategic about how the lines are going to connect everybody else around the city. Obviously, we need to get people to work who can't afford cars. So we need some bus stops over here in our industrial area. Probably need at least one up here in Willowcrest. And then I need to get some down here in our office park as well, down here in Fortune Park. So like what if we had a single line that ran all the way up and down the main arterial road down through here? That might be a good idea. So I'm going to go ahead and start over here in our industrial area with the first bus stop. So let's go ahead and put one in over here. Let's make it a shelter. And let's see, we're going to be coming this way. So let's go ahead and put it, I like right here because we have all of this industrial area right here that people can kind of get off and go to work and stuff. So we'll start the first one there. We'll bring another one. Let's see, we want to have it come down this way. Now I almost want to put one like right here, but I think the better option is probably to do it right over here on this side. So let's put it right there on that corner. Let's go ahead and put another one up here on this corner here. Let's see, where's a good place for this? Maybe right about here. That's perfect. And then the bus will come up this way. And let's put another one. Let's get it like right in the center here. Right there. That's probably good. So then the bus will kind of come out of here. And we can run it along this way. And like I said, I want it to kind of run along the main arterial road down through here. So we're going to be coming this way and up. So right through here. We're going to be on this side of the road. So let's go ahead and put our first one. Let's do it right here on the corner. How about right there? Okay. And then do I want to put one in the middle? Maybe. You know what? No. Let's put one down here. So we'll do the same thing right here on this corner. Right there. Okay. And then it's going to travel down this way. And we want to run it over into our Fortune Park area. Because, you know, we want to make sure our offices are getting tons of business stuff. So it's going to be coming in this way. Right? Okay. Let's put one. Where's a good spot for this? I'm thinking right here. Yeah, probably. All right, and then the bus will leave from here and probably turn back around from there. And then, do we want to go this way with it? Maybe. We could hook up the high school to it right there. We could bring it out this way, bring it down through here, hook up the high school, connect it back around. That's probably a good option. I think we should go ahead and do that. Yeah. So I'll put one here. Alright, and then the bus will come down this way. That is correct, right? Yeah, yeah. So, right down through here at a turn. Then we're going to hook up to this one. Well, technically we're going to be going this way. Let's go ahead and we should probably put one on each side. Yeah. So, let's go ahead and do one here. And then come back down here on the other side. Let's put another one down here. Like so. And that way we'll have 2 stops down that way on each side. And then we're coming back down through here. And it will hook up again. Yeah, I think that'll kind of work. So let's go ahead and get the bus line in here. Now let's connect everything up. Starting right here. Alright, and then once we do the loop, we complete it. But before I do, I need to change the color here. So since this is going to be kind of a main loop, maybe I should have, well, no, we did the 4-point one as purple. Let's do, I don't think we have a green, right? Let's do a bright lime green for this one. Yeah. And then complete loop. All right, so now we have one that kind of goes all the way across the city and connects both the workplaces. All right, so we're good on that. All right, next I'd like to make a route that kind of goes all the way around the city here. We kind of did this with the 4-point one, but I didn't connect up the angles here. So I think that's probably what I want to do next. Let's go ahead and grab a bus shelter. And I'm going to start at the cemetery this time. I'm going to start like right in front of it. This will be like the memorial route. So we'll bring the bus down this way. Let's go ahead and put one. Yeah, let's do here. I don't like doing it on this main road. Ugh, I really don't, but it is what it is. I'd also like to connect up that right there too. I don't see a good way to do that. I guess if I put one here, that's close enough to the clinic. Yeah, alright, and then we'll come down this way. Let's go ahead and put one. Like I said, this is going to be something big later, so I do want to put one in here. Let's go ahead and put a let's put one here, and then we'll put another one down here on this corner. And we'll come down here. Let's put one right here on this road, because it is going to come around this way. Do I want one in the middle? I should put one in the middle. I'm gonna put one in the middle. Yeah, we'll put one there. We'll come down this way, and let's get one like right here. This one's a little tough. I'm gonna go ahead and put it like down here on this corner down here. All right, and then we'll bring it back around. Let's bring it up this way, and you know, let's have this route connect both of the hospital routes right there. So yeah, and we can also connect up to these apartments right here too. We can put one right there. That'll work just fine. And then to come out and then head up around this way. Oh yeah, we need to go up this way here. We can connect. Oh, we need the post office. Yeah, we definitely got to get one connected to the post office. And I can't put one there on that road or that one. Well, that kind of sucks. I don't really want to do it on that road. I'd rather have it come around this way. I don't want it around the back because there's no entrance into the back right there. So that's just not going to work. That's not reasonable. I guess I'll throw it here. And then, let's see. Did I put one over there on that one? Yeah, kind of. Let's see. It was more or less here. I put one over here somewhere. All right. That's fine. We'll throw one there and then we'll connect it around. So let's go ahead and get this route connected up. And we're going to make this route... Let's make this one white. Alright, and then we'll finish off this loop here. Alright, so that one goes all the way around through there, and there's easy enough ways so people can make connecting routes down through here. In fact, I think I kind of want to put one on the other side of the road right here. And then we'll connect up one of our lines down through here. Which one runs that way? Let's see. There's one. The purple one? Yeah, we can take the purple line here and then connect. I should be able to grab that. I think I have to go into here, grab the route, and then, yeah, then I can move it. So then we'll just connect that up right there. Okay, perfect. All right, so now that just leaves Willowcrest. to connect up to everything. So I gotta think about how we're gonna do that one. All right, let's go ahead and put in a stop. We'll do it. I really like it like right here. That's kind of further away. There's not a lot up here as there is down here, so I think I want to do it down here instead. So let's go ahead and put in a stop right here. All right, and then we'll have it turn around, I guess, and do some stuff. I don't know. Let's come down this way. We need to connect it up with everything else. So what if we just have it... What if we have it come down this way? Connect it up here. Because this one, that's the main line, right? That goes all the way down. Okay, yeah. So I had this one go... That's the 4 points one. That one goes all the way around. So we'll keep that one. So yeah, we'll have Willowcrest come around, come down through here. It'll connect here, which if you need to, you can get off and get on a different bus. So it's like a, you know, a connecting lane kind of thing. All right, we'll come down this way. Let's go ahead and take this from there. We could connect it here onto this stop. And then let's go ahead and bring it down here and let's go into here, maybe, which it already is. So yeah, we'll do that. Yeah, and then have it come back out, which again we have the school connection. Really, we just need to get that bus to connect to this one, and then it just will connect to everything else. That's honestly. All right, so what if I just did that? What if we... No, because I like that. This one doesn't connect over to that. Okay, I'm totally going to do something a little different here. I'm going to put another bus line right there. Okay. So what we'll do is we'll have this one, it'll come in down here, come around this way, and then come out this way. And then maybe from there, let's have it go... I think I'll just have it turn around right here. You know what? I think I'm just going to do one line that runs over this way. And then maybe we'll just connect up another line and then have it come down this way. I think that kind of works. We can use the same stops. Kind of bring it around this way. Yeah, and then back up. Yeah, that's actually good. We can save bus stops that way. All right, let's go ahead and connect 2 more lines up here from Willowcrest. So we'll do here, and then we'll bring it around, I guess. No, I don't like that. I want to bring it down this way. Let's come up this way. Come on. What are you doing? There. All right, and then come out. So let's go down this way, right? And I want to take it down to... I can't do anything here on that road, but I can bring it down and connect to here. And then we'll bring it up and we'll connect to here. And then we'll come over here. And like I said, I'm going to have it come in this way. And then come down here. And then back out. And we will... I guess we can connect to here, back to the school. Bring it down this way. Is there another bus stop right here? There's not. Maybe there should be. Yeah, there kind of should be. All right, that's fine though. And then I'll just bring it back up here and we'll connect back over here. So for the time being though, let's go ahead and put another bus stop right over here. Yeah, right there. Although I should have had it like maybe over by the park, but whatever. Now, where's that line? It was pink, right? Oh god, that one's gonna be hard to find. Let's see. It's running up through here. Yeah, so I think it's this one. Yeah. So let's go ahead and connect it to that. There we go. Now we'll do one more on the Willowcrest stop. And we'll have that one come up through here like so. And then, you know what? That's what I forgot to do. I forgot to change the color. That's why I have 2 pinks going down through here. So that's not a problem. We will do... Do we have an orange? We don't have an orange, although it is kind of difficult to see orange. There we go. All right, we'll have this come down through here. We'll have it connect here, and we'll just use the same lines. Because this is mostly going to be for people who are working over in here. And then we'll run it back up here and connect it back there. There we go. All right. That should be all of my lines connected now. Alright, so now we've got all of our lines added, and you would think after doing all that we would probably run out of buses since the bus depot only has a total of 25 buses. But looking at it, you can plainly see we have plenty still just sitting here doing nothing. There are only 7 of them in use, and we've got 7 routes, I think, correct? Well, we got 8 routes, so we don't have enough buses. And I don't know why the buses aren't in use. It just says they're in maintenance. Yeah, 18 vehicles in maintenance. Our efficiency's at 28%. Oh, our budget. Okay, yeah, well, we can fix that real quick. Let's go to budget. Let's go to services. Find transportation. Yeah, we've got that turned like all the way down. That's a holdover from our budget issues. Let's turn that up to, let's do 80%. 80% sounds good. It's going to cost us $148,000. I think we're all right, though. We're still doing good on money. Now, will that put more buses in use? It will. All right, buses in use are 9. Vehicles in maintenance are 3. That apparently fixed the buses that were problem childs. And I guess they're going to all jump out here and do what they're intended to do now. Which, hopefully, that will fix our little no vehicles in use icons we have here. Time will tell on that. And now, another issue that's come back once again for revenge is the trash. Because it always is a problem. Well, you know what? We have the money. We could go ahead and start fixing that problem once and for all. But I'm probably going to do that in the next episode. And that's going to do it for today's episode. Hilland Bay is now officially on the move with a working bus network in place. And I'm really happy with how it's starting to pull the city together. It might just be the beginning, but a solid foundation for even more public transport options down the line. As always, I'd love to hear what you think. Do the routes make sense? What would you change? Got any clever name for our bus lines or transit districts? Drop your thoughts in the comments down below. If you enjoyed the video, consider giving it a like, and if you're new around here, don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss what's coming up next in City Skylines 2. Thanks for hanging out with me today, and wherever you are in the world, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. I'll see you in the next one.